Well, now our big focus this evening on India Decides. In just a few days, India will have a new army chief, General Bikram Singh, who replaces a man who's gone down as perhaps the most controversial chief in the history of the Indian Army. Now, in a candid interview to NDTV's Nitin Gokhale, General VK Singh spoke straight and direct, justifying several of the controversial decisions that he took, from taking on the government in court on the age issue to openly naming a retired officer, of spreading what he said were lies. This isn't usually how an army chief ends his career, making many wonder if General Singh has an eye on a career in politics, something he has not ruled out. Well, what we're looking at this evening is the legacy of General VK Singh and whether he has actually left the Indian Army as a weaker institution. That's the debate. To discuss that, we are joined by General Shankar Prasad, also Major General Sheru Thaptial, retired, and with me in the studio, Ajay Shukla, the consulting editor with Business Affairs. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll come to you, gentlemen, in just a few moments from now. But first, let's just bring you an excerpt of that interview to Nitin Gokhale, where the army chief said that the letter which was leaked, a top secret letter that he was writing for the Prime Minister, was leaked by no one in the army. The insinuation was that it was someone in the bureaucracy who was doing this, perhaps deliberately, to malign his image.
The letter you wrote to the Prime Minister became a bone of contention. Who leaked it? Why did you write it? Will you shed some light on that particular episode?
Actually, I don't think this "why did you write it" will become any
No, not why
issue.
did you write it, how did it leak?
I really don't know who leaked it. But I'm quite sure, and my army is quite sure, that it is not the army which leaked it.
Right.
Now, there can be all kinds of theories, all kinds of things which we can scratch our heads on. Somebody has got to find it. Something came on PTI. But let me assure you, each man in the army knows it cannot leak out from the army.
All right, that leak, the General says, has not come from the army. Well, General Prasad, let me come to you. We'll discuss what he said in just a few moments from now. But if you were to look at General VK Singh, say 5 years from now, will you remember him as the man who unsuccessfully took on the bureaucracy in court on the age issue and lost? Or will you remember him as a man who really shook up the equation between the bureaucracy and the Indian Army, perhaps for the betterment of the Indian Army?
Well, my reaction to your question is very straightforward and simple. At this point in time, it has so happened that between yesterday and today, two very leading television channels, yesterday with Arnab Goswami and Times Now, and today with Nitin Gokhale on NDTV, some very pointed and straightforward questions have been asked by the anchors, and the Chief of the Army Staff, General VK Singh, has given very frank answers to them. Therefore, today, the entire nation knows the issues that are under a debate and the answers and the perceptions of the outgoing Chief of the Army Staff. Having said this, I want to clarify one very important issue today, and that is, this is not the right time to discuss whether these actions were right or wrong. History spares nobody. It is a history which will come out in due course of time to say what was right and what was wrong. History has not spared Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. History has not spared Winston Churchill. History will not spare General VK Singh either. Whatever he has done, right or wrong, correct or incorrect, will come out and history will judge it. Therefore, it's not correct for us to judge it today. What I wish to say today is that the government of India has restored in many manners the position of the Chief of the Army Staff and the dignity of his office. To start with, let me say that the government of India and the Ministry of Defence have given him an excellent farewell. The Ministry of Defence is organising a farewell tea for him, which is the right thing to do. The Raksha Mantri has held a fantastic dining out dinner for him. The Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, the President of India, has given him a banquet. And even the Eastern Command has given him a red carpet, a farewell. That's just the right thing to do at this point in time. I would like to draw the attention of the entire nation today that we are at crossroads where the army is in news for all the wrong reasons. And therefore, the new Chief of the Army Staff who is coming in has a very difficult task in front of him. The entire government, the bureaucracy, the politicians, the army commanders, PSOs, co-commanders, and above everything else, the media must now focus more towards letting General Bikram Singh come and settle down as a chief to be in charge of national security. Let us now leave General VK Singh and say goodbye and farewell. We will now welcome the new chief and see how best he can be installed to overcome the problems that have been faced by the army over the last 2 years, and the media has blared them for all the, and the army has been in the media for all the wrong reasons. So there is something amiss at the moment, and that needs to be corrected, because if we go on taking this line, I'm afraid the new chief will also find it very difficult. So today, General VK Singh has brought to fore the issues. Whether he's right or wrong, history will judge him. Now let us focus on those issues which have been brought to the fore, and let every one of us, as I said, the government, particularly the bureaucracy and the media, focus towards how
General
best
Prasad,
we
you
can
make
help
that point,
General
and
Bikram Singh to overcome these problems.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news in your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.